What's up everyone, welcome to another video. In this video, I'll cover the second year of growth of the green giant evergreen tree. It is advertised as the fastest growing evergreen in the market for instant privacy, with an advertised growth rate of 3 to 5 feet per year. I planted 23 of these and measured them every month for the last 2 years. In this video, I'll show the growth results of the second year. Last fall, I made a growth rate video of the first year. I will put a link in the video description, and I recommend watching that one first. But I will do a very brief recap of the first year video. Then we will get into the second year results. I planted the trees in May of 2021. They started out at 13 to 25 inches tall. 8 months later, in November of 2021, they ranged from 20 to 42 inches tall. Here is a graph showing total growth of each tree over the 8 months. I personally experienced 5 to 19 inches of growth for the first summer season. Here is a graph showing the height measurement of each tree over the 8 months. The colors correspond to the month that it was measured. Most of the growth took place in the middle of summer. Then, in November, I covered them with burlap for the winter, to protect them from the weather, but also to protect them from deer. These trees are advertised as deer resistant. I did not have any trouble with the deer in the summer, but they were more than happy to eat and destroy the trees in the winter when their typical food sources became scarce. And that wraps up the 1 year recap. So here we are in April of 2022 for the second year of growth. First, I will go through some videos and images for each month. Then I will show some graphs. Starting out, a couple of the trees are in rough shape because the deer got into them last fall before I got them covered in burlap. In April, the trees ranged from 20 to 36 inches tall. There was no growth over the winter. They came out of the burlap kind of squished up, but they were nice and green, so I was happy with that. In May, they ranged from 20 to 37 inches tall, which was up to 2 inches of growth. And you can see that I have a hose set up. There's a hole drilled at each tree, so when I turn it on, each tree gets a drip feed. In June, they ranged from 22 to 41 inches tall, which was up to 7 inches of growth. And the trees that were destroyed by the deer are starting to bounce back. They'll be behind, but they're showing new growth, so that's good. In July, they ranged from 23 inches to 49 inches tall, which was up to 9 inches of growth. In August, they ranged from 26 inches to 56 inches tall, which was up to 10 inches of growth. This was the best growth of the year. In September, they ranged from 29 inches to 61 inches tall, which was up to 7 inches of growth. That is still good growth, but it's 3 inches less than the previous month, and things are slowing down. And in October, they ranged from 30 inches to 62 inches tall, which was up to 3 inches of growth. It's still a little bit of growth, but things are definitely ramping down. Everything's looking pretty much the same over here. Then, in November, they ranged from 31 inches to 63 inches tall, which was up to 2 inches of growth. Things are about done for the season. There's still no noticeable change on this end. With the summer vegetation gone and the temperatures dropping for the winter, the deer already started messing with these trees. It is time to protect them for the winter. Unfortunately, they are too tall to cover them with burlap like I did last year. I need a different plan. I used some stakes and garden netting, and built a 7-foot tall fence all the way around the trees to protect them from the deer for the winter. And it worked. Here are some deer trying to get the trees. but there is a wall stopping them. They will need to find someone else's green giants to destroy. And here's another attempt, but the fence is doing its job. And one more example. There's deer tracks all over the place, but not in the fence. With the fence up, I didn't plan on doing any more measurements for the year, but when December 10th rolled around, I decided to measure them one last time. There was no change in height. They still ranged from 31 inches tall to 63 inches tall. One tree measured 1 inch taller, and one tree measured 2 inches taller, but everything else was the same. They are pretty much done growing for the year. Now let's look at some graphs. Each tree is shown on the x-axis, tree number 1 through tree number 23. The colors correspond to the month that it was measured, so each tree shows the height measurements over 8 months. Overall, growth was slow over the first 3 months. Then growth ramped up over the next 3 months in July, August, and September. And the last 3 months had little or no growth in October, November, and December. Here's another graph showing the total growth of each tree over the 8 months. This is not the height of each tree, this is how much each tree grew. The total growth ranged from 10 to 31 inches. Again, tree 1 was destroyed last year, and trees 7 and 17 are odd because they were damaged and regrowing. Now the last graph. Let's stack up last year and this year to see the full 2 years of growth. There's a lot going on here, but for each tree, there's the growth in 2021 from April to November. I filled in December through March with a static value because they did not grow over the winter. Then there's the growth from April 2022 to December 2022. For both years, the growth rate was slow in April. It ramped up over May and June and peaked in July and August, then slowed down in September and October, with pretty much no growth in November and beyond. However, the rate of growth was better the second year. In 2021, the peak growth was 7 inches in August, but in 2022, the peak growth was 10 inches in August, so they grew at a faster rate the second year. So, I personally experienced 5 to 19 inches of growth the first summer season, and 10 to 31 inches of growth the second summer season, with the majority of growth during the middle of summer. No growth over the winter. They are advertised to grow 3 to 5 feet per year once established, so it should increase again next year. I'm sure results will differ in different environments, but that was my personal experience. Hopefully you found it helpful or entertaining. I will track growth again next year and keep you updated. As always, thanks for watching. Drop any comments below, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.